Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Ich warte seit Wochen auf diesen Tag und tanz vor Freude über den Asphalt. Als wär's ein Rhythmus, als gäb's ein Lied, das mich immer weiter durch die Straßen zieht. Komm dir entgegen.
Hello and welcome to Gegenpressing, the Bundesliga podcast. This is the transfer show. I'm Manu and he's Stefan Bienkowski. Stefan, how are you doing? It's sweltering heat here in Munich. So if you hear background noise, that's my open window. I just can't do it with a closed window, but
yeah, it's really warm here in Scotland as well, actually. I don't know if there's some sort of heat wave going across Europe maybe, but yeah, I've been struggling with the heat all day. All the windows have been opened, and I've just got back from walking the dog, and I had to go for a shower because I was just so sweaty. It was horrible. So yeah, it's I share your pain. I share your pain.
Yeah. I guess I'm just not used to it anymore because when I'm in Victoria, you just open the window, the Pacific will just bring in fresh air. Here it just sits, but oh well, this is the small details, small problems, Munich problems. We get to talk a lot about Munich problems today, Stefan, because there's a few other ones that have nothing to do with the weather. But I think before we start with any of these Bayern Munich problems, kind of want to talk about Dortmund, who have quietly flown under the radar and, by many accounts, it seemed to be more or less done with their transfer window. And I have to say, I would say it's pretty much out of left field. And I from what I understand, and from what people have reported, Patrick Berger, for example, for Sport 1, who's a very reliable source I know him well, has reported that this deal was pretty much done, right? Signing Bella-Kotchap from Southampton, young German national team centre-back, who, I think he started quite well in England and then hit a little bit of a snatch. But, he had a great year also in Germany with Bochum, where he came through the ranks there and, only 21 still. 190, big guy, very dynamic, tons of potential. Dortmund get him. That's a great upgrade. And again, it's a transfer out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of been the way the Dortmund have actually conducted their business this summer, if you think about it. Nemcha, Sabitzer, and now Bella-Kotchap is three signings that have really come out of almost thin air. And, obviously, you're absolutely right. He obviously moved to Southampton. It didn't really quite work out from last season. I don't think it was really any fault of his own. One thing is obviously the fact that he was playing in a team that was really struggling. And we've seen a lot of kind of star players move on from the club this summer, some really talented players. So, I don't think we should really blame Kotchap for that, for not blaming the likes of Lavia or whoever else, who've also moved on. And he also had some injuries. He had a shoulder injury, he had two separate shoulder injuries, actually, and a knee problem. It's kind of he just never really managed to kind of settle into that team. So, yeah, I moved back to Germany, I think makes a big difference. I've seen reports that obviously, Dortmund would mean he could kind of move back to an area where he's from. He feels far more comfortable in the country, maybe, which is understandable for a young man. And, yeah, Dortmund potentially getting a really impressive player. I did kind of think when he kind of moved to the Premier League that maybe it was a little too soon. Obviously, Southampton do have a history of kind of developing young players, so it didn't seem like a huge worry, but he still felt to me like a very raw player. And I think Dortmund are probably still getting a very raw player, to be perfectly honest with you. But he's probably the perfect profile for what they actually need. I actually mentioned in my newsletter this week that, the two kind of problem areas for me in this squad right now are kind of the number 6 position and the centre-back position, because, they obviously do have central defenders. They've got Schlotterbeck, they've got Mats Hummels, they've got Niklas Sula. There's maybe one or two other players there, but there's no one really there who's really fills me with a huge amount of confidence. I thought Mats Hummels actually did quite well last season for the most part, but I think both Schlotterbeck and Sula go into this new season with quite a lot to prove, to be honest with you. I don't think either of them have yet kind of proved that they're, well, good enough, or maybe not good enough, but they haven't really proved to be smart signings yet for Dortmund just yet. So they're going to have to improve this summer. And yeah, I think Bella-Kotchap can be a perfect kind of understudy to both of them and to Mats Hummels, perhaps Mats Hummels more so. And he provides an excellent amount of depth. So, young player, full of potential, German. Yeah, it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes, doesn't it?
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.